I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wants to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighters beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Body Work. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. I had a lot on my chest. It's been a lot going on in boxing lately. A lot of good things. But we gotta do some housekeeping. It seemed like ever since I got off the beaten path of addressing the gaslighters, they got out of control. And I'm like, Mike, you supposed to be leveling up. Not giving up. You're not supposed to be worried about Captain Egghead or Oscar the Grouch. You're not supposed to be worried about the TMZ of boxing. You're not really supposed to be about or be worried about what none of them say. And I'm like, man, but shit, am I crazy? Because I'm like, do they realize people are waiting, watching, listening, paying attention? Like, I don't even know if they like, it's like boxing is so crazy now that people could just say whatever they want. And based on their popularity or the perception of the receiver and what they stand to gain is going to dictate whether or not they get away with it. Oh yeah. We can try to play like we don't know what I'm talking about, but it's crazy that Tank reiterated something and I said about shit. I don't know what live it was. When that man came out and said, you can play dumb, but you can't play smart. I don't gotta do an interview with him. I just know this shit. That's some shit that I said before I heard him say it. So, regardless of when they clicked on in his head and when they clicked on in my mind, I agree with it. It's a lot of stuff that's going on right now in the sport of boxing that I don't agree with. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I be trying to take the high road, and I realize a lot of times I learned this in a divorce. I went through a divorce, and I learned that the path of least resistance is not always the best path to go. Because a lot of times, off the time, when people we get it in their mind that you're gonna avoid going there. You're gonna take the high road. You're gonna be the one that's gonna be like, you know what? I don't have the time. You got it. You can have it. You can do this. You can do that. You know how many fathers that missed out who were good guys who said, you know what? You can have it. You know what? I'll start over. We don't look at that. But we'll listen to anything that somebody that we like say online. So I wanted to offer a challenge, man. This is something I wanted to do a long time ago when I was saying the hot seat. The hot seat, the hot seat. It's like, shoot, I'll get in the hot seat. Let me put you in the hot seat. Let's do it. Because I said, you know what? I refuse to go somewhere where once I start speaking that truth, spilling that hot fire, all you gotta do is cut the mic and say I'm getting disrespectful and dismiss me. And the congregation gonna be like, amen. Amen again. Nah, son. I'm not going out like Willie Lump, cuz. And this one ain't gonna be monetized, man. So, hey, whatever you got, man. What they used to say in the army, man, smoke them if you got them. Smoke them if you got them. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be one of them nights where I'm not going to really be too concerned about editing myself. But it's been kind of hard, man, because we got some clowns out here online, man. We got some pure D clowns. And I try not to disrespect boxers, but I'm like, man, do y'all realize that people are waiting, watching, and listening to everything that y'all are saying when it comes along to the sport? And some people, they're like myself. I give you the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because I'm not going to break no salacious news. Even if I hear something crazy like you got knocked out in sparring, you ain't going to hear me breaking that news. I'm going to act like I don't even know. Why? Practice? You talking about practice? Sparring. I did something a long time ago. I said sparring, just like Vegas, right? This is a saying that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And the way a lot of motherfuckers be talking about sparring, I would not want to go anywhere near Vegas with y'all. It is what it is, because what happens in Vegas is supposed to stay in Vegas. And I thought that that's what sparring was, but we seen what happened to Frank Martin getting high off of sparring wars, thinking that the brick hand was all this and all that, and he made the world shake. And all I remember was seeing him in that lavender. And it got cold as December for Frank the Ghost Martin. Boy, I was hearing Captain Egghead saying a lot of stuff. I was hearing a guy, this guy's name, I figured out what it means. This guy, when it pertains to Tank, this is what this guy's initial stands for. Never, ever satisfied when it comes to Tank. I'm gonna say it again. Never abnormally long pause. Ever abnormally long pause, satisfied, abnormally long, pause, never satisfied, man. And that's what I'm starting to see. I wanted to sit back and I wanted to see, and I wanted to pretty much sift all of the things that was coming through and see if it was fumes or it was some real shit. You know how somebody be saying they the shit and it's really just a loud ass fart. That's what I'm starting to really realize with a lot of these people, man. Some of these people, man, it's like they play the game. You just gotta realize what team they playing for, what they stand for, what the agenda is, and what it's all about. Because if it's a company, man, if you can connect some dots, then it ain't much to figure out. But I was sitting here listening and watching and waiting, and first of all, in the morning, because I've been seeing it. Like I told y'all, man, for the longest time, it's cats out here that all they get by with is refried beans. And for the life of me, I don't want to call it jealousy. I just don't know for the life of me how somebody can come online and talk about the same goddamn thing every single solitary day. And they're kleptos because they'll go over here and they'll take this from there and they'll put that out there like that was some eureka moments, and they'll take this from there and they'll sprinkle that in. But I'm talking about refried beans. It was the same topic. And I told everybody when it came to that Devin and Ryan shit, I told everybody what it was. I said it was a circus. I just now heard Captain Egghead come out and say that the clown show is over. And when did you ever hear him refer to it as the clown show or the circus? That's why I say it's like that JonBenet Ramsey shit, where people don't want to believe it until so much time go by, and then by the time the truth finally comes out, it no longer matters. So you don't give a fuck where they getting it from in real time. Just like you don't give a fuck about what's really happening in boxing in real time. Only for, in hindsight, for you to be one of them 2020 in the stands looking asses. They ain't got nothing to do with the masses. I'm talking to all of these people that just run with shit. That always got some kind of agenda. Like this shit, it gotta be fatiguing. Especially when you're doing it 7 days a week for 365. I know your mind be playing tricks on you. Plus, you told us it do. It's scientifically proven. It's documented record that it do. And plus, you don't have. I know for the amount of research that I do when I'm going through topics and I'm doing my thing and I'm trying to give my breakdown and try to come with what's genuine, because I thought that we can all watch the same thing. We can all see the same fight. We can all see the same interview. We can all see the same images. And we all should be able to come up with different things. And somehow, some way, some of us always come up with different things out of the same things that we all see. But then somebody else get the credit for it. But then also they get the benefit of be able to play politics. I've never been good at playing politics. Never been good at it. Never been good at playing politics. I was always, I'm gonna show my worth until everybody recognizes it. And the fact that I put so much pressure and emphasis on whatever it was, I've always seemed to always reach the mark. Made the basketball team in high school, and I wasn't a basketball player, but I wanted to make the team, so I made the team. I was a football player. In less than 5 years, I was an E5 promotable in the U.S. Army. And when I made a mistake not involved with the Army on Army time, off duty, off hours, because I made a mistake. That's what jeopardized everything. Youthful lust. Being immature. So it was never anything that I ever set my mind to that I did not want to accomplish or do, that I was not going to do it either at the time when it was right for me to have done it or before that. And I try to look at boxing, I try to look at life from so many different perspectives. It's like, dang, okay, high school graduate, college degree, a trade in HVAC, a CDL, at one point in time, a crane operator, certified in insurance, life, accident, health, property, and casualty. It's not like having your own business, running a trucking company, doing that, having different LLCs, doing all that, knowing about taxes and all this and all that. When I come online to talk about boxing, it's about boxing. But we got a lot of politicians out here. A lot of politicians. A lot of people that like to play that fence. They like to play that role. They like to flip-flop or toe that line or have one foot on this side of the fence and another foot on the other side of the fence. And I don't know if anything, but if you built anything like me, it's not good to have either of your feet on opposing ends of a fence. You know what tend to happen. And I'm the type, when I see somebody in that kind of position, I'm gonna get it cracking. Cause it's not right, man. It's not fair, it's not ethical, man. When we looking and we talking about boxing, a lot of the conversation, man, these people that I see right here in the background of this thumbnail, these two boxers have accomplished a lot. I see them on opposite ends. They're like polar opposites, but it's a lot of, I'm starting to see that there are a lot alike in these two. And I'm starting to see a real catch-22. And it's kind of odd because a guy that's not even in this picture get the blame for a lot of things that you can put on these two. So for one, let's address April Fools. April Fools is what I called it. Anybody that been frequenting the channel and watching all the series and everything that was actually going on, April Fools is what I have been calling it for the longest. And I was calling it a circus. I was saying this. So as late as today, I heard somebody say the clown show is over. So at one point in time, were you calling the clown show? At one point in time, were you co-signing that the man on the right had the most toxic fan base in boxing, like I did on the January 1st of 2024? When was the last time you did that? You didn't do that. You wait till now to say now the clown show is over, but the whole time it was refried beans about this very same subject. This is why I say most people get online and they talk about boxing, but they don't have nothing to do with boxing. It's politics. Why? Because talking about these two is what sell. You know how many boxing matches came by and went? How many fighters could have got shine, spotlight, could have got their salutes, they credit, they flowers? How many? But it was always about these guys. And every day, the whole time, it was just a ping pong back and forth. Oh, okay, I'm gonna make the Haney fans think that it's like this, and then the next day I'm gonna make the Ryan fans feel like I'm sorry. Like, man, don't y'all get tired of that? Like, for real, we all know what goes on. We all know what year it is. We all know that it's going to be election. We all got jobs and work and all this. But I thought that when you got online and you talked about boxing. It was supposed to be about boxing, not politics. And I hope this offends somebody. I do. I hope this really offends somebody. We been knew Devin wasn't shit. We been knew he wasn't what he claimed to be. Yeah, like as far as boxing and yeah, the average person from the streets or whatever, yeah, because of the school, the skills and all that. But a lot of people been knew Devin wasn't shit, man. A lot of us was calling in real time. Like we were calling in real time. We was getting called a hater. Why? Because we saw it a long fucking time ago. And it's a shame that people with a per capita, where people are living on top of each other like roaches, thinking that it's impossible for somebody that gotta compete in every sport, from basketball, football, track, soccer, racing, wrestling. It didn't even it was more people. So you had to be that much better. That's why people from concentrated areas are supposed to know better. But they don't. Well, really they do. They just play politics all the time. How can I appease this person? How can I go this way without making them offended? It's just like you won't kill shit, you won't let shit die. You won't kill shit, you won't let shit die. Finally, I hope this shit is over. I hope it's dead. I hope it's done. Ryan beat the shit out of Devin. Devin is Mr. Glass. Devin was the boy who cried wolf. He was that one that, every time they see you, wolf tickets, wolf tickets, wolf tickets. Finally, they get in front of somebody that had something going on and knew what to do, and it wasn't never, nothing, not, never, no more. This dude is a clown. The father is a clown. I remember when I was getting disrespected when I said Devin Haney was Bill was out of line well before we seen him on that snowflake. Well before. I was saying, man, this dude is off his rocker, man. Like, y'all, you got to draw the line. Now people can openly get super chats, get praised, get glory. They can go back and act like they coming back and reminiscing about some shit that they wasn't talking about back then. They can go back and steal people's shit and heap it on the pile, and people pay them for it. This shit gotta stop. It gotta stop. We want pretty much everybody want, if you get into something and you pretty much make an honest living, and you put whatever it is you need into your offspring, whether it's child support, whether it's time, whether it's effort, energy, whatever it is that you're putting into your offspring, we all like to believe and think that if we do it the right way, if we just put in the hard work, if we just put in the sweat equity, that it's going to be successful. So it's a dumbass thing to think that we would say that anybody that's actually putting that time, effort, and energy into their son, we just hating for no reason because we don't want to see it succeed. It's almost like, damn, the dude without no father get the most hate. The dude with a lying ass, coke sniffing ass father. Lying, backbiting, contentious, unruly, outrageous, uncontrollable. We were wrong to criticize them. But it's a whole lot of hindsight is 2020 looking asses taking all kind of credit for it now. Acting like they've been saying it all along. No, you've been playing both sides of the fence all along. And now you finally figured out the Plinko chip to land it down on that spot for you to land that plane and settle in so you can capitalize on it. Now you want to speak on it and act like, oh, yeah, you a hindsight 2020 looking ass. You play politics looking ass. Like you cater to whoever the fuck you want. I saw it when it happened with Earl and Bud. All of that flip-floppery. Now I'm seeing it with Tank. I see it all the time. I was just seeing it with Tank and Devin. Now all of a sudden, now the narrative done switched to Tank and Shakur and shit. You doing the same thing with Tank and Shakur, Captain Egghead. Captain Egghead, you know who I'm talking to. We've been playing this game for a long time now. I told y'all it was two sides of the same coin. I told y'all it was good cop, bad cop. The good cop come on first thing in the morning. GM, good morning. GM, the bad cop come on about 6:30 in the evening. It's the same dumbass shit, but it's two different sides of the same fucking coin. What don't y'all understand? So one can come out and say all this stuff that's supposed to be so rational and reasoning because he do it over coffee and crumpets and tea and talk like Dr. Phil. It's smooth. It's jazz. You like, all right. It's rad. And then because it's nighttime, it's evening, it's supposed to be this dark, this powerful energy, this rambunctious, this, I tell you some, I might say SMD. You get a lot of FUs and a lot of false alpha male type stuff. Endless aggression. Polar opposite end. But then one that come on and say, oh no, yeah, we always good. This is just boxing. Like, no, y'all playing, homie. So you can't spend all goddamn. This is like, I forgot what it was. Penelope. That's the story. I'm about to start calling you Dr. Penelope. Dr. Penelope. Let's talk about Dr. Penelope. As the myth goes, Penelope, once her husband had went to go away for war, she was supposed to sew a blanket. And at the time when she actually sewed the blanket, at its fruition, she was going to pick a suitor. So she would sew all day, and then at nighttime, she would unravel. She would spend all night unraveling whatever she could just so she could start sewing all day. Because she was dealing with some slow motherfuckers. And this is what's going on. People sow seeds of discord and flip-floppiness all goddamn day to go loot, rob, pillage, and plunder and figure out who they gonna take from this and make it seem like and customize it as their own just to come out the next day to regurgitate some shit, to bring it back, to put it all back in. You know, movies do that all the time. You know how right before the commercial, they always give you some shit that was like, damn, man, hold on, if I'm gonna go use the bathroom, let me go ahead and run and get the bathroom. If I'm gonna grab something from the fridge, let me go ahead and grab that now, because I'm trying to be back when this shit starts. Or the cliffhanger that they do. That's what motherfuckers are doing to you every day. I thought we was past this, because this is just some normal shit. This is just boxing. But then you had a bad guy that come on in the evening. He's the bad guy. He can say whatever the fuck he want. All outrageous, all polar opposite of what you saying. And you never have no accountability to check him. And he never have no accountability to check you. But the meanwhile, y'all just ping-ponging back and forth because y'all always got material. Y'all polar opposites. And y'all can just get cash on both sides because either way, y'all are playing the sheeple. And every now and again, somebody actually realize what y'all fucking doing, and they'll say something, then y'all have a falling out, and then 2 days later, I'm sorry, come back, I sure do miss you. I'm glad all this April Fools is done. But to say that what Ryan got was a slap on the wrist is dumb as fuck. You might not like or care for him, but I don't care how rich you are. If you've been around some real rich people, ain't nobody sniffing or scoffing at having $1 million taken away from. I don't give a fuck who you are, where you stand. And if you ain't got $1 million to give away or whatever, obviously you don't, because you on motherfucking YouTube 7 days a week, 365, and you crying like a bitch if you miss 2 days. So miss me with all that. $1 million ain't shit. I don't give a fuck if you got $1 billion. Ain't nobody just jumping over and just, oh shit, $1 million just slipped out the door. No, people get skimmed and scammed and flim-flammed for it. Yeah, but ain't nobody just give me like, oh shit, that's just $1 million. Like, yeah, on some crazy shit, on some shit that they want to spend it on, but ain't nobody scoffing at $1 million, a dub getting lost, and a year suspension when that's all you know to do in life. When your dumb ass can't stay offline for 2 days without crying and bitching and moaning the minute you get back. April Fools is over. Devin's been exposed. I told y'all who the top 5 toxic fan bases was on January the 1st. And DHP was number 1. And here we go. We are exactly goddamn halfway through the year. And DHP is still number 1. Most toxic fan base in boxing. Stop me when I'm lying. You can't. I said it was foolish to even go entertain a fight with Ryan. Why? Because Ryan ain't have nothing to offer. But you so want to be in there with the big dog. You so think you need to be with the A-sides and you worth all this big bag or whatever, and you being premature and underestimating your skills got in the ring with that dumbass instead of a great fight when you was up to where you needed to be skill-wise, and Ryan was mature enough to where he was for what he had at the table. Y'all could have really made some money and made some big, big money. But the fight flopped. Captain Egghead stole that. He wasn't saying that shit about it being on the wrong coast until he heard somebody else say it. And if you do your research, you can go back and see who was the first one to ever say that shit. Do your research. Then all of a sudden, yeah, because they doing it on the wrong side. You was not, because you were busy playing politics. And that's why I say, that's the dangers of always playing politics. Because you're always going to be stealing, because you're just waiting. You're just waiting for shit to shift over to the point of no return. So now it's okay to shit on Ryan and say, oh man, he should have got worse. Should have got worse for what? When they didn't determine that he did it on purpose. And you did it in the state. And if you was dealing in the state where no matter what, it was an absolute whatever, it was going to be absolute, whether he did it purposely or unpurposely. That was an absolute. But to try to play both sides like, oh man, he should have got, like, man, shut the hell up, man. The dude been boxing for just as long as Devin was and was better than Devin. Was better. He didn't come up under Floyd. Yikes. Roy Jones ain't his godfather. Yikes. Zab Judah ain't his step uncle. Yikes. We been knew Devin wasn't shit. He wasn't compared to what he was supposed to be. And take it how you want it. That minute you start comparing a civilian to somebody who actually put on the gloves, it's already a checkmate. You're done. You're finished. It's finito. April Fools is over. So until Devin decide to grab his nuts and get back in the ring, y'all need to stop being distracted. He ain't what he was. He'd have had so many contradictions, so many lies. The shit that he said about Shakur, that's what makes this whole video that I'm doing weird, because I rock with Shakur. I don't fuck with Devin. I supported him because I wanted to see him succeed, but I see that, hey, it's almost like doing a deal with you know who, man. It ain't no point of return. It's like you're gonna shake hands, you're gonna get an agreement. It ain't no coming back. You just wind up getting hosed. So I hope we just drop that. This is over. I hope Ryan do his suspension. I hope in that time he matures. He see what he actually has. He has a skill set that if he actually hone and sharpen, which I really don't think he'll have really any incentive because he's gonna have nothing but time, nothing but ways to actually figure out how to get paid. And since he's already getting so much money in boxing, there's not going to be no incentive for him to keep training to stay boxing. So more than likely how he handled his time, he ain't going to be right. We already see that Devin ain't right. People are starting to really come, even though people play this game. This is what I don't like about people who really talk about boxing a lot, especially the popular ones. I'm realizing they know how to play politics the most. The one that really knew how Devin was, all he really gonna do, pick something easy on the way back, use the excuse that it was inactivity or act like it wasn't this, or now it's an excuse to cherry pick or do whatever or call out Tank's name and not take any accountability for the physical things outside of Oscar ring that led him to be face down, ass up in the middle of that ring. And Ryan went left and right. It was bada boom and a bada bing. You know what I mean? That's over. Until he goes back into the, like I always say, he need to go back into that dark room like a film. He needs to develop, and when that picture gets clearer for him, he's willing to realize that he has a lot of inherent mistakes where it's like, I don't give a fuck. It's almost like instinctual to where there's certain things that he do inside that ring to where at this point in time, until he trains and somebody breaks it up out of him, he's going to do it forever because nobody has ever held him accountable to make any kind of adjustment, to do any kind of thing. Why? Because they always gave him a pat on the ass and told him that what he was doing was the best and he was the most glorious and he was this and this and that. And it really did him no justice. And now they're starting to see it. And now because his name was banging on YouTube, not in real life, banging on YouTube, people feel like they got to pledge allegiance or loyal to your show because some kind of what. It's like, okay, cool. Y'all want to play that game? Okay, cool. But when he show his true colors, which he has recently, which he really is not all of that, he's really not who he's been claiming to be. His father been flip-flopping and, oh no, man, we ain't street, and then claiming the street and then getting caught on camera doing some things. That's like, man, it's all an act. It's all a joke. So I hope Ryan gets focused. I hope he gets mature. I hope Devin go back into that dark room, develop that film, and come out with a clearer picture, a better you, a better fighter. Decent feet, a good jab, got the smarts, got the youth, you got some stamina, got I would say a decent gas tank. Build on that. Add on to those strengths. See what best suits your frame, what you're able to get away with. Like, but be real with where you actually at, because superstar status and must-see TV, that wasn't it. And that's not shitting on nobody. It just wasn't it. It was never that. People saying, oh man, he need to do this. He need to act like the bad guy. I ain't never seen a bad guy that ain't ever have shit to impose on somebody as a bad guy. It's like, man, hold on. if you a goon, like you gotta have something. You gotta have a strap. You gotta be known. If you in a confined space where can't nobody go with, you better have a couple. You know what I'm saying? Shanks. You know, you gotta have some kind of artillery. Like you just can't. I don't know. I was born in 1980, but all I do now, I was in Landover, Maryland, right off of Martin Luther King. I've never known anybody to actually know and represent or be a bad guy. And it's you okay? Well, so what makes him bad? Oh, because he talk. No, like a bad guy had to like have something. Like if you was known as a bad guy, if you was known as like people knew who was, you know, people knew who was going, you know what I'm saying, do what. People knew who they could play with, who they couldn't. But I've never known a self-proclaimed bad guy with no weapons, like nothing to keep you off me. Like the jig is up, man. The jig is up, man. And since nobody really want to do it, man, and everybody want to listen to this pervert online who got some kind of, I don't know what kind of obsession it is with this other dude. I don't know what his obsession is. I don't know what it is. But in order for Devin to have any kind of longevity or any respect, because he don't even want his get back. He don't even want his get back. I be hearing more people put voices to the fact that Tank has to fight Isoc Pitbull Cruz again than they do for Devin and Ryan. And we clearly seen Ryan beat Devin ass. Like, we seen Harvey Dark help Devin. Like, I could only imagine, like, if Harvey Dark wouldn't have did that and they would have called that fight, man, they might have had even more jurisdiction to even try to make that Osirine seem like it was that much more damaging when we know Osirine ain't have a goddamn thing to do with what happened to Devin inside that ring. I'm just being honest. But we're not going to keep playing both sides of the fence. Look. Yeah, Ryan is young. Ryan is young and dumb. And he made a lot of mistakes. He did this and this and that. Bottom line is he beat Devin fucking ass in the middle of that ring. He made a dumb mistake. He beat Ryan ass. He beat Devin's ass. That shit that happened or whatever, it is in line with what they say was contamination. The punishment is not in line with what happened with some of these other guys and girls. So to try to say he got a slap on the wrist because, again, I don't give a fuck how rich you are. The more money you have, the less likely you are to even want to waste no kind of money. So I don't care who you are. To have to forfeit $1 million, ain't nobody scoffing at that like that ain't nothing. Especially for common folk who got to get up and do something. You ain't made it to where you can get up and not do nothing for days and days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks and years and years and years, and you're going to be all right. So for common folk who get up, whether it's online all day, every day, talking and all this bullshit out the side of their fucking neck, like, oh man, he just took $1 million, like pocket watching pockets, being hypocritical. You got to get up and you got to put your hand to the plow and you got to earn your living. $1 million for nobody ain't shit, because we already know that shit could be gone tomorrow in the blink of an eye. A lawsuit, an accident. In that year's time, shit, you might lose a finger or a hand or get hit by a car and your knee ain't right. We seen what happened with Benavidez. He was that guy before he got shot and fucked up. So to say that, oh yeah, it's just $1 million and pocket watching. But I guess you above the standards too when it comes to pocket watching. You can do that. Because you made it. You've arrived. You ain't arrived no goddamn where. You steal content. You bite. You act like you know every goddamn thing. You get emotional when somebody don't agree with you. And when you debate, you don't debate. You play semantics. You're a hypocrite. You don't say shit about Deontay Wilder and all that dumb shit, but the minute somebody say he got his ass whooped for not being fundamentally sound in the ring, now you want to mute and pause and disrupt. And then on the flip side, the bad guy, Trash Can Man, he turned into a whole different person. I never forget the time when I seen this man actually interview. I never forget the time when I seen this dude actually interview with Deontay Wilder. I was amazed, man. This man was like, oh man, King. Oh man, this man was this man was blushing, dog. Like, you can go back, the shit is still online, man. It looked like, you remember how Charlie Murphy said when they seen Rick, he said, man, when we seen Rick, he had like this aura about him or whatever. Like, yeah, this nigga seen Deontay Wilder and it was almost like this nigga had an aura on him or whatever. It was, oh yeah, King. And I'm like, God damn, like, do we got y'all want to get a room? Or we gonna talk some boxing, or what? You gonna ask them some shit about what's going? Because this looked like something different. I knew something was wrong. I already knew something wrong. Then when you look at the dude, like, the dude can't give the one guy who's not in this picture. The one guy that's not in this picture. This is why I say this is a catch-22. Because I don't give a fuck if he just I don't give a fuck if he just pick one of these motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck if he just say, hey, I want you. You can go left, you can go right, Tank. I don't give a fuck if it's left or right. I just want Tank to pick one of these motherfuckers and be like, man, fuck that, man. Loma, man, fuck Loma, man. I'm gonna take your dumb ass out. Or fuck you, like, I'm gonna take you. Left or right. I want him to go savage on these dudes now. Cause it'll call a lot, because I think the humble route, you don't get no credit for the humble route. When you think about the route Tank took, he don't get no credit for this route that he's taking. This man ain't say nothing flagrant. He ain't say nothing foul. He was respectful afterwards. He was just saying, well, even when they was asking beforehand, he was like, who are you talking about? Who are these guys? These guys ain't doing the numbers I'm doing. They not bringing to the table what I'm bringing. They run around getting the belts, but even when you look at their approach to actually getting the belts, they did not fight the best. Shakur went to the Olympics. When Shakur was at 26, he ain't say shit about Mr. Gary Russell Jr. When he was at 30, he ain't say shit about O'Shaquie Foster. At 35, you give him a pass because Loma turned it down, but then you don't say shit to Tim Bradley about not getting on Lomachenko, about turning down a fight with Shakur Stevenson when they've been on the same label. And it's all Tank fault. But then him and Devin was on the same label, and they got away with making them enemies and then putting both of them against Tank. But y'all was on the same label and ain't nothing happened. Y'all was in the same division and ain't nothing happened. We got the guy on the right saying, oh no, man, me and Shakur, man, we best friends, man. We ain't, no, I would never say, nope. And because people don't really like to just go by.
that's like me and Shakur, we talk like every other day. So, I'm not ducking or dodging nobody, but that's not somebody I'm just in a rush to get in the ring with. I mean, Shakur is my boy. That's like me and Shakur, we talk like every other day. So, I'm not ducking or dodging nobody, but that's not somebody I'm just in a rush to get in the ring with.
So I don't remember. I don't recall Tim, because he said this. Tim said this. I mean, Devin said this while he was on the same promotional company with Shakur Stevenson. He said that when he was on the same promotional company. But I don't recall Tim stepping out and saying, "Oh man, hold on, man. Hold on, Devin. What you mean y'all friends? What you mean y'all friends?"
Yeah, Devin Haney's obligation to do the rematch in October with Gamboza, and after that, if he's successful, and Loma will be fighting hopefully in October. You can look forward to a Loma Haney fight, which will be a massive event.
Absolutely. And just my last few questions around Haney. Some people have been saying one of the big fights that could be made, Floyd said, that could be like Devin Haney and Shakur would be tremendously popular. Is that, you think, the biggest fight?
A lot of big fights, and thankfully, with fighters that fight for top rank.
With fighters that fight for top rank. Would he go on to say Shakur what?
With fighters that fight for top rank. Shakur against Lomachenko, Shakur against Haney are big fights.
But it's Tank fault. I ain't never heard Tim just jump out there like that, but now all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, because he always gonna be a company man, but like, come on, Tim. And Tim was also, Tim Bradley was also the same one.
I think the interesting conversation that we had with Navarrete in our fighter meeting was that he said that he was interested in facing Shakur Stevenson. He said at one point in his career, don't know how soon it was, you know what I do? He said that he had a contract that he had signed to face Shakur Stevenson, and he has no clue what happened on the other end. I just thought that was extremely interesting to hear from his. I don't know how true it is, but that is something that he did say.
Do you see how passive Tim is? That's why I always be getting on Tim, because it's like, Tim, you make no goddamn sense. So where's all the pressure? Like, all these guys are over there on ESPN with Top Rank, but it's all Tank fault, because he can just point to anybody. But we've already seen where Tank can't just point to anybody and say they want them when they under the control of somebody else. So let's go back. When did y'all ever hear Tim? Now, we heard Tim say this. Now, this was during the Ivan Baranchyk and Navarrete fight, when Tim spilled these beans. But we never heard Tim go at Shakur Stevenson about this. Let me play this again for y'all, so y'all don't get played as fans by both sides, because Devin Haney is playing y'all with when it come to Tank. Shakur and them is playing y'all when it come to Tank. And Tim Bradley and whatever politician online that do content is playing y'all as well when it come down to Tank. Because Tank been over there on PBC, the most hated PBC, where everybody hate Al and do all this. You can't blame Tank for standing in the same place and getting the same checks with the same people. They got them to where they at. But your folks that moved around and bounced around and had all these different things, and it ain't pan out quite like how it was for Tank. But we got all this animosity from somebody like Tim. But let me play this again so y'all can hear what this was, so y'all can really understand what this was. And when you catch the playback, you'll actually understand where all my frustrations come back, because these things don't add up when you're actually following the sport, not just trying to get a new casual fan who might have just came by and don't know the history or the landscape. Since we got all these fake ass historians, all these historians that don't count anything past what 92. Anything past 92, they don't respect because they don't want to keep account of what's actually going on right now for the masses. They only care about the shit that happened before what 92, 93. Some people don't even go past 88, but they historians. Nah, this is history, motherfuckers. Listen.
You know, I think the interesting conversation that we had with Navarrete in our fighter meeting was that he said that he was interested in facing Shakur Stevenson. He said at one point in his career, don't know how soon it was, you know what I do? He said that he had a contract that he wouldn't sign.
We said, I don't know how soon it was. And as he was saying it, he said, you know what? I do, because he knew that he was getting ready to, he was telling a lie. Let me rewind it back. Tim Bradley.
In his career, don't know how soon it was. You know what I do? He said that he had a contract that he wouldn't sign to face Shakur Stevenson. And he has no clue what happened on the other end. I just thought that was extremely interesting to hear from him. I don't know how true it is, but that is something that he did say. Yes.
So when I start hearing a lot of these things that these people be saying, I look at the comments and I listen to the comments, like especially the comment that they said over the years because they'll flip-flop. I think I had to get rid of a whole lot of data at one point in time, but I had a clip of Tim Bradley when he was going over the landscape. And Tim Bradley used to be high on he used to really keep it real when it came to Tank. And then I think Tank might have said something about one of his fights, or he was asked about it, and then it was just, you ain't ever hear shit good come out of Tim's mouth about Tank. So he's not one of them guys that when you want to hear an honest assessment about Tank. Now, when you factor in off the boxing ring type issues and things like that, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Everybody at some point in time, you know, in their thirst to get likes, clicks, and views, used some of the adversity that you went through to get, you know, some praise, whether it was putting a question mark in the end to make it seem like, or just straight up just trying to like sneak dissing. Like I don't understand how. This is what I don't understand. This is really what I don't understand. People online, even as late as when Tank just stopped Frank Martin. After that, people have still been online and speaking and talking like it's up to Tank to prove that he could beat somebody like Shakur. But there is no accountability for Shakur to prove that he could beat somebody like Tank. So even when you have the A-side, B-side conversation, which I really don't like doing, but it's a clear cut. You know who has value. I mean, damn, listen. Bob Arum said it. Now, we've had people come back, and this is why I'm going to get on Captain Egghead and bust his head. I'm going to bust his ass again, too, because months ago, I put out a whole video about Bob Arum saying how easy it would be for the whole cross-promotional thing, and also how he had already given... Y'all thinking this a news flash that Bob Arum, this is the second time. No, this probably was the third time Bob Arum them doubled down and basically said Shakur has a right to be able to go out and view the landscape and see what's going on. And the reason why I know is because the example that I used was when he just gave Jose Ramirez the same opportunity to go over there to DAZN and see what was going on. Jose Ramirez went over to DAZN and then he came back to Top Rank, and Bob and them was not fucking with it, so he stayed with DAZN and Matchroom. So if you think about it in the timeline, that was one of the last times I brought it up. For Captain Egghead to bring it up here recently and act like there was new information. No, it just wasn't popular at that point in time. Why? Because he has to play that fan base as well. So when you start looking at this cloak and dagger, smoke and mirrors type shit that's going on right now, and how people playing games with the information, but they act like they don't know something when they know it all along. They just got to figure out when to sprinkle it in and how they're going to make it sound genius and this and this and that. At this point in time, it's bullshit. There is no originality. That's why I say you can go down to 7-Eleven each and every day and get you one of them dry ass, stinky ass hot dogs, or one of them Jamaican beef patties, or one of them crusty ass donuts, or some of that old ass, stale ass coffee. I don't blame you. Why? One of them gonna be hitting on something fresh that day, but you can go get that same old funky ass shit every day. That's why it's like 3, 4, 5 videos out every day, and ain't nothing new. It's shit that you already seen the original video with it. It ain't nothing new. It's refried beans. It's hot dogs. Oh, okay. You want to put some onions and some chili on it today, and then tomorrow you're gonna put some ketchup and some mustard. I get it. Sometimes you gotta flip it around. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, flip that thing over, hit it from the back. You have to do something to make it different or to get stale. Either way, it's refried beans. And this is what I've been trying to tell y'all about this, man. Like, when you really watching boxing, you got a best interest for all of these young brothers. Because I could talk my shit. But I ain't gonna lie. Part of me, man, I was kind of sad for Devin when he got his ass whooped by Ryan. I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Part of me was, and that's the part that you can't hide when you a real motherfucker and you really want to see all the young brothers succeed, no matter where they from and what they doing. You just want everything to be as even as possible. And you want the best to, you know what I'm saying, to raise up. You just give credit where it's due. You just call it straight down the middle, as even as possible. You even spare motherfuckers. But motherfuckers won't let you do that. They want to keep rubbing your nose and stuff. They want to keep agitating. They want to keep pushing the envelope. And this is what happened with the young Lord Devin Haney. To where he just went too far. And I see Shakur Stevenson going that same way. I just heard him say he embracing the villain role. Well, the villain role entails the same thing that Devin thought when they were trying to make him be Devin Dollars, and you know, the Haney voice had coerced him into being this bad guy. You see what this shit done got you and your father at, right? You might got a moral victory and you might have got whatever raced off, whatever, but not in the eyes of the masses, man. The eyes of the masses. The eyes in the masses are saying, oh yeah, that Ryan fight, yeah, that's an asterisk beside it. Yeah, he didn't really beat you because he had that in the system. But in the back of their mind, they're like, man, we saw him beat your ass, cuz. Gilly the Kid, all of them, anybody who really talk about they don't bring that shit up. They all know. They all bring that up to be a talking point, to pledge allegiance to all the people who think that you done wrong. And they'll commence right on to talking about how you got your ass beat. And they ain't had nothing to do with, and the fact that you actually won 5 rounds. You won 5 rounds. Which means that you were lacking something to where all you had to really do was not get knocked down and win 2 more rounds. and you kept your head off the line, use your jab more, use your feet more, make Ryan come into you, make him miss, make him pay, get out of there. If you would have did that for 2 more rounds, you could have won that fight. But people want to boo-hoo and be sobbish. People want to be boo-hoo, be sobbish, act mad, and like you got some grave misjustice done to you when you really just got beat up. Just got beat up. Had that been a different state, just like if Keyshawn was in a different state when he had his infraction and he wasn't in Texas, he would that wouldn't have went down like that. He would still have his dub. That wouldn't have been ruled a no contest. If he'd have been somewhere where that was legal, that weed was legal, it wouldn't have been like that. He was just in that state. The fact that they was up there in New York and it was a hard line drawn in the sand to where it's no mercy. Or we find whatever, whether it's your fault or not, we find it, bada bing, bada boom. So that's just giving everybody credence to act like it was some kind of victory. I see this nigga Devin dancing around the border now. It's like, man, hold on, man, what you dancing for? That don't take away the fact that he would, like, okay. But those are the kind of people you want around. That's why I say I'm getting ready to ban all Devin Haney talk on the channel. I just hope that Tank, man, if you can make Devin an offer that he can't refuse, please. Please. Give him an offer that he can't refuse. And he's saying he's taking off 2 years. I've been said that we probably was never going to get the Tank Devin fight because Devin was really just playing around, knowing that he ain't really never have no intentions on getting there with Tank. He made a big YouTube buzz, but once the level of competition, size, style, stature, activity, he didn't have all those advantages, he got exposed immediately. Immediately. And I feel, I mean, I hate to say this, man, but I feel like Shakur is going down the same path. Yep. I feel like Shakur going down the same path because we know what Shakur is. I call him the definition. He's the definition of hit and not get hit. And that's what I appreciate with him. Like me, I didn't think that the Puello Gary Antoine Russell fight was boring. That was not a boring fight to me. I could sit and watch two skilled boxers box and be thoroughly impressed and amused. That's not what the average fan wants, and that's not what makes people blockbusters or star attraction. But I can say this. I can say that every level where Shakur was in the Olympics, he fell short. In his last performance against De Los Santos, as far as expectations, he fell short. And when we look at the rankings, when we look at every division, and these are things that I said, you know what? I'm really not gonna press him because I know he's a growing person. So where I could have pointed these things out along the way to his detriment, I actually took a better approach and saying, well, you know what? At least he's moving up in divisions. But I can say when you go back and look at the whole picture, when he was at 126, he didn't fight the best at 126. When he was at 130, he didn't fight the best at 130. And now he's at 135. He hasn't fought the best at 135. So whether you want to say, oh man, this is fact-based content. This is not opinion-based. And if you feel like I'm lying to you, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But I'm hearing, this is why I want to nip this shit in the bud right now. Because the same shit that Captain Egghead just did to y'all with Ryan and Devin is the same shit he was doing with Tank and Devin. And it's the same shit that he's getting ready to go on an epic run with this Tank and Shakur shit. This flip-flopping back and forth every day where he say something, playing both sides, won't kill shit, won't let shit die. Pick a side. Pick a side and stop flip-flopping. But I'm trying to show y'all this play. So when y'all see this and y'all get this rehearsal, the same shit with Devin and, because it was Devin and Ryan. Before that, it was Devin and Tank. Now it's getting ready to be Tank and Shakur. Mark my words. He already started it. They've already started it. Especially now that Frank's out of the mix. Now all the people from the lower corridor, all that, Texas, all them people, Cali, all them people that was Devin fans, now they're going to start slowly shifting. You're going to start hearing a lot of this shit coming from on Shakur. Some of them have defaulted back to T.O., but not a lot. And a lot of them, no matter what, whenever it comes time for Loma, they're all going to band together like a transformer and they're going to jump on it. Mark my words. So, as I get ready to land this plane, dock this boat, find this remote, and end this program. Let me tell you this, man. Shakur, I ain't gonna lie. Shakur is one of my guys. And I'm gonna say this every time. Until proven otherwise, I would take Shakur over everybody else except for Tank. But Shakur, man, Shakur don't make it easy for you to root for him, man. Not lately. This is a different side. This is a different side. And I'm like, okay, you want to embrace that dark side? Listen, just because you're on the dark side and you feeling savage, that don't mean you got to do it with bad energy. You feel me? Like that's not really gonna sink in. You could be on the dark side. You could feel like you savage, but you could be doing everything that you need to do in your power. You just coming with different kind of energy. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. You ain't gotta embellish and lie to these folks and make it seem like it's something that's not, when you knew all the goddamn time along that Devin Haney was going up to 140. It was going to come down to you and Loma. It was already laid out. I have the vocals. It's Shakur's tone and his vocals. These are plans that we already knew. So when everybody starts shitting on T.O. and start saying, oh man, he crazy. When Shakur was actually telling you the whole plan. I mean, T.O. was telling you the whole plan before Shakur was actually telling you the whole plan. Why? Because the plan came from Bob. So to blame Tank for something not happening is asinine when Bob had all the keys. We gotta keep it a buck. This not gonna get a lot of likes, clicks, and views. I know. This is not gonna do anything for me when it comes down to ingratiating myself with other boxers and all this. Why? It don't really matter to me. One day a boxer will fuck with you, the next day he won't. Oh well. As long as I'm telling the truth, as long as I can look at myself in the mirror knowing, goddamn, like, well, shit. Hey, you just said what was right. You ain't even go in all the way that like you could, but you just said what was right and exact. Be mad all you want. Be mad all you want. But somebody gotta say it. Like, we're in a time right now where a lot of people let a lot of people get away with stuff because they want to be part of the in crowd. They want to be popular. Y'all do know that that's not what preserves things. You do know when you let somebody keep getting away with something and getting away with something and getting away with something, guess what happened? They do something crazy. They go out there and kill themselves in the DUI, or they get so mad that they assault somebody out in traffic and have to go to jail or do time, or drive home drunk and kill, a married couple or something crazy. When you let people get away with things over and over again and you never say nothing, it's not easy to pull somebody aside. I'm like, hey man, you know you ain't right for that, man. Like, you know that ain't right. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with Tim Bradley saying, hey man, Shakur, man, like, hey, Navarrete said he had a contract with your name on it. And that's what he told us in the fighter meeting. What happened with that? Before you get out there and say that it Tank ducking Shakur. Before you get out there and say, oh man, Tank ducking Loma. Like how when Bob got all the keys? And Bob just came out there and make Devin look stupid as hell. And Eddie just came out and made Devin look stupid as hell. And everybody just rejoiced in this victory. Well, that victory ain't gonna take away whatever on that boy mind about that left hook and that right hand. That left hook and that right hand. Because I was saying, man, yeah, this is about it. The left hook and the right hand. If you look at the right, if you look at the right side, man, the right side technically, the right side jaw like look worse than the left. So you see what the left hook do? That had to be a vicious right hand. Well, that's one of the things to where. See, now you don't see it, and because you're around people that act like they don't know it, they're gonna act like we've never seen this face of boxing. But we've seen it. We've seen it. And I said that on the inside, he's the guy on the left. On the outside, he's the guy on the right. Stop me when I'm lying. I heard so many people. I heard so many people, man, giving I heard so many people giving Shakur Stevenson the benefit of the doubt, and they still talking about it. Like, people talking about it in absolute. Like, we know that Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis is the best fight that happened at 135. But it's almost like, goddamn, like, everybody talking like they already know this a foregone conclusion that Shakur beats Tank at 135. And we haven't seen a clue of anything that would actually indicate that yet. He just getting the benefit of the doubt. For what? Because the Haney voice say it? Because Captain Egghead say it? Because Tim Bradley say it? And by actions, I mean, it's looking like the furthest thing from the truth. That's if we're talking about actions. Because at the division, it's like, well, shit. Did we ever see Shakur? Like, aside from Jamel Herring, that's the first person that was taller with a longer reach. Right? Was that the first guy we seen taller with a longer reach? Jamel Herring. Jamel Herring. So, and when I gauge a fighter that's hurt, that's fighting in boxing or whatever, when I look at Mr. Gary Russell Jr. against Mark Magsayo and his performance with one arm, I look at Tank Davis versus Isaac Cruz and his performance with one arm, and then I look at Shakur Stevenson and his performance against De Los Santos with one arm, and he was saying that he was hurt. When you look at those, like, who impressed you the most? Who impressed you the least? Because I know damn near 9.5 out of 10 of the people that I know seen that Mark Magsayo and Mr. Gary Russell say, oh man, Mr. Gary Russell boxed circles around that dude. Did you see that? With one arm, he was jabbing and hooking. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy what he was able to do with one arm against that dude, and they pickpocketed that man because he was inactive. And they thought that the other guy was going to be active and get them more money and have more bouts and this and this and that. And whatever politics, which I keep saying don't really belong in boxing, especially in boxing talk, which I don't like, politics took over. Then I see Tank Davis. When you see Tank Davis and Isaac Pitbull Cruz, you know that he was down on one hand after a certain round, and you actually saw Tank's boxing skills. You seen him using his feet, weaving, pivoting, hooking out, you know what I'm saying, going upstairs, downstairs, like using his feints. Like, you really saw a whole different side, pull counters. And then you see the De Los Santos and Shakur Stevenson, and you sit back and you be like, what the fuck did I just watch? Like, that's my guy, but like, what the fuck did I just watch? Oh, I finessed him, or I bluffed him the whole time. Like, and that's what you want to hang your hat on? Okay, cool, but don't cry about wanting to be a star, which the company that's promoting you and giving you the bread, butts in seats and eyes on screens is important to them. It's not important to you as long as you get out there with the dub, but you can't say you want to be the best and you do this, which the skill says that you are an elite fighter. The skills say that. The skills say that. But the promotional companies and the company want to know that when they put on one of your events, they're going to make a whole lot of money. I'm not saying that they losing any. I'm thinking especially up there where you're from, where your peoples are at, yeah, you do good. You do good. And that's growing. But they are expecting the performances to match the online talk, the gangster talk, that I'm embracing the dark side talk. Why? Because we're a whole lot of vicious. I'm on this level. I'm on that level. I spud Bud Crawford. That's almost as bad as, like, man, the fact that you be using Bud's name like that, when you don't go in there and do somebody dirty, and then you got all these friends, you got Keyshawn that you ain't gonna fight, you got a bunch of people that you ain't gonna fight because y'all cool. And then you made that treaty back with Devin after all that shit, so now y'all cool, so people ain't even, you done just fucked up the whole fan base and even wanting to know if they even want to ask for that. It ain't nobody asking for that. Which is kind of ironic when at 135, who got the WBC? And at 140, who got the WBC? But it's all Tank fault. I get it. I get it. Salute to Champion Sports Boxing, Knucklehead, Smoke. Yeah, people still stuck on that Matias. I gotta move forward, man. I gotta move forward. I wanted to put something on everybody's mind, but I really thought somebody had something for me. Channel member. I thought somebody had something for me, man. I was saying, who won it, man? Because this is a catch-22, man. It's almost like forces are joining, and now that Frank lost, now they all they diverting to Loma, Shakur. Some of them still staying with Devin, but some of them is going to TO2, and now you get a little bit of Keyshawn. Or Keyshawn would do this. I'm like, man, y'all are famous for letting them boys over there at Top Rank say and call and name all this stuff where they got all the cards in their hand and their decision as far as who they're signed with and how long it is that they decide to be with them. But it's always somebody outside and on another street and from a different promotional company's fault. I don't really get it. And now we've just had confirmation from Captain Egghead that this whole time Devin Haney have been playing games. Promotional musical chairs. Just now getting that confirmation, man. But I was hating all along when I was saying it. That's why I say, man, what I do, man, it's body work. I don't take shit for face value. I'm not listening to what nobody's saying, just taking it. Oh yeah, certain people there get the benefit of the doubt. I still gotta go back and verify what they saying is right and exact. And I'm not just gonna take this shit. I just thought that I'd come out here and take it. I thought I'd come out here, man. I was gonna get a link, man, because there's a lot of people be out there in the comments talking, saying they want this, they want to do that, talking all this stuff online about how they know this and know that. They feel like this and they feel like that. And it's not quite that. I'm here. I figure I'll make myself available. If you got something on your chest, you got something on your mind, I'm here. I'm here. Said I wasn't gonna be doing much lives, man, because boxing talk been foolish. I said I'm just gonna keep doing my videos about the pieces that I want to be real specific about. Not take up a lot of people's time because I was starting to go live too much. But I'm here. Don't say I don't ever make myself available. I make myself available. I'm just saying, man, we got to do our research, man. So many people say so many things in so many different times that we don't ever follow through. We just get persuaded by whatever personality makes it sound good or right. There's so many things. I got so many recordings of what these folks done said and how they said it, and then looking at how everything play out. I'm like, what happened? Why you change? I got a lot of stuff in this phone, man. I got stuff, I got files, I got so much. It's just like, that's why when I hear people, I be trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, I was stuck on Shakur trying to get undisputed. But I'm like, Baranchek, where's all the smoke from Tim for Baranchek, who, I think he said Shakur and Keyshawn. Where was the memo or the message from Tim for the people on his side of the street? He always called a Tank. That's why now, for some reason, I be thinking, man, certain people just be calling on Tank for a handout, man. Like, you should be able to, like, this is like Keyshawn Davis, like, and that's Keyshawn, man. I want to put him in my boxes to watch so bad. I want to put him on my boxes to watch so bad. He got a lot of attributes. He got a lot of things that he do that I'm like, man, that dude, Keyshawn is special. He's special too. And I see flashes of Bud in him. But I don't think his discipline is on the level of Bud. So if he make a couple wrong decisions, it's just going to be a waste of talent. And that's what I see. And all I ever hear and see is like every time Tank got a fight, it's almost like an agenda. Like their people are telling them, hey, man, say something about Tank. Say something about how Tank is going to lose to Shakur. It's like, I don't even hear Shakur talking about Artem. Then I look at an interview and Shakur say, oh, man, I don't watch film, man. I watch like 2 or 3 rounds. And then I'm, because it's only so much. And then he said, oh, man, I'm a boxing head, man. I watch it all, man. I watched them. Yeah, I seen them. Like, man, come on, man, dog. On 1 minute, man, you don't want to sound like you pressed because you watch film. Like, yeah, I watch film on all my ops. If I feel like I got an op, I'm watching film. I'm watching. Like anything that's out there that I can find, I want to know. Believe me, I'm watching. I'm getting it. I'm downloading. I'm recording. I'm understanding. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that's how he. Okay, yeah, everything. That's why I thought it was asinine when Earl Spence was out there when he was promoting Frank, and this how I knew they was off. When he was saying, first of all, Earl said Tank ain't fighting nobody. I said, oh man. Then he said Tank ain't skilled because he nothing but a pressure fighter. I said, Earl, you do know what you're saying, right? I was like, man, you can't make this up, man. You promoting. I salute you for promoting. But you just said Tank ain't fought nobody. And you said he's not skilled because he's nothing but a pressure fighter. I said, yeah, man. If there was something else I could add to the list as to why Frank gonna get knocked the fuck out, it's probably why. It's probably why Earl adding fuel to the fire, on the Tank side. And I know that shit burnt Tank up. Cause you gonna really sit up here and say I ain't fighting nobody? Like, so if I didn't fight nobody, why did Frank forego to Shakur just to fight Tank? And I said, well, damn, man, Frank, you should have fought Shakur because at least that version that wasn't move. Like, yeah, he was just moving, but shit, you might have been more aggressive than De La Santo. You might have actually had the shot. I said, but you avoided that just to go get knocked out. I said, and he about to go get. I said, hold on, you avoided Shakur fight with a potential to get knocked out by Tank. And I think it was like the day before. No, it was the day. It was the day of. Called it right as rain. 5 through 8. Bada boom, bada bang. It was over. So I don't know where this accountability be for Keyshawn to do anything. Like, cause when you talking about get back, everybody jumping on Ryan about Devin about not fighting Ryan and getting his get back, but nobody say nothing about Shakur and Andy Cruz. But people just supposed to run with it that that's a fight off in the future and this and this and that. But nobody say nothing about that. But Keyshawn get to say whatever he want about Tank, and people say, oh man, Keyshawn beat the crap out of Tank. But you ain't seen Keyshawn do anything like what Tank did to anybody on the level in which he fought him. And we still waiting for Shakur to go savage mode. Like, I really appreciated the Valdez fight because I knew he really wanted it. He wanted that example. And it was a little luster taken off of it because I really had Conceição beating Valdez. And then, you know, that's when he popped hot and all this other stuff. So it kind of like, it dampened it. But I'm not going to sit up here and be like, Shakur, you didn't fight Gary Russell when y'all was both at 126. Never said the name. It was never even an option. It was somebody else at 26. I did the video at the time. It was somebody else at 26 that was a good possibility that was like, why that didn't happen. Bitch, almost just like why when Bud and AB was in the same division, that and Regis was in the same division and that never happened. I'm like, that's something, that's a conversation. Because that's actually an actual fact that people really don't want to acknowledge. But AB and Bud was in the same division years and years ago. Fight never happened. Probably could have. That's the Shakur and Mr. Gary Russell, the Shakur and Oshaki, the Shakur and Loma. But there's never nothing. Tim never said nothing about how Loma ducked Shakur. Tim never said nothing about how the Loma and Shakur need to fight. He never said nothing about what Bob said about Shakur and that fight. Never say nothing about that. There's no pressure for Loma and Baranchek to fight. Why? Because they from the same country. But there's nothing to say about Shakur fighting Baranchek either. But it's all Tank is ducking. How that work? So 3 pieces of the pie over there. One is over there. And this one guy fight when they all can unify. Because remember, it's 3 over there. That means that's a triangle. That means they can both fight each other. And that'll get settled. And then that over there will be the prize. Seems cut and dry to me. And even if you don't want to make it straight up, you can have one of your under guys fight one of the top guys, under guy, top guy, under guy, top guy. And then you can make it all. You're almost like a tournament, like what y'all been doing. Yeah, like what y'all been doing with T.O. and Devin and T.O. and Loma and Kambosos and T.O. and Kambosos and Devin. Yeah, that kind of stuff. But Tim never have no strong energy about that. It's always tank. Even though we know that Tim Bradley was famous for saying or making up that size of the street shit. We know that. But now he act like it ain't no size of the street. And that people can just do what they want. Even though he worked for Top Rank, who's in affiliation with Bob Arum and him. But yeah, man. That's it, man. I just really I thought somebody wanted something. People be talking all crazy online. We could have got it in. Not the type that's gonna mute you, downplay what you gotta say. I'm gonna take exactly what you got, and then we're gonna have a conversation. You're gonna get whatever it is off your chest, and I'll say whatever I got off my chest. We'll come to an understanding. And I wanted to afford people the opportunity to be able to do that, but I have no taker. I've been on here for almost an hour and 41, no takers. No problem. But don't say I don't ever afford myself or afford anyone the opportunity that they ever needed. Don't say that. Well, if nobody ain't have nothing for me, if you catching the playback, I salute. Remember, hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat, become a member, share the video, like the video, comment, subscribe, spread the word. You know, I get a lot of people kind of low-key saying, hey, man, you know, I like how you always keep it this way, and like, man, I see how consistent, and they know this is not popular. But just support the channel. If you support the Captain Eggheads of the world, if you support the Oscar the Grouches of the world, who do nothing but degrade and pull down and shame and ridicule, support my channel. I'm not boxer monogamous. You're not just gonna hear about one boxer, one or two boxers all day, every day. You get good content, you get visuals, you get music, you get personality, you get an interesting take, all supported by facts. What's not to love about that? I'm not going to twist anybody's arm, but I'm just saying, man, it makes it easier for people to go on and strive and continue to do what they're doing. Unless you want that greasy ass, dry ass hot dog from 7-Eleven. You can pay for that every day. This is gourmet. What can I say? Fruits and veggies, not that Red J. Anyway, thanks for tuning in here at Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Body Work.